So this is the Sultai deck I've ended up playing today. It's pretty close to what we played on stream this week. I made a couple of small changes, like I put the 4th Gargaroth in the board to fit in some Shark Typhoons here, because I wanted an extra threat. Mostly I wanted an extra cantrip to hit my land drops more consistently. I almost went to a 29th land, but I think 28 with a couple more cantrips probably is fine. I adjusted the mana base slightly. I cut the 3rd forest. That was probably bad to include from the start because you don't need green till later. So like your hands that are like forest Faceless Haven are always auto mulligans, whereas like swamp Faceless Haven can often be a keep, especially if you have something like Mazemind Tome. Other last minute changes are I added a couple of Chain Web Arachneer to the sideboard because rogues looked like it had been popular in a lot of the MTG Melee tournaments, so I think that matchup's probably pretty hard for us. Eliminate is another hedge against those small creature decks. I previously had the everything gets -2/-2 in my sideboard, but that card's pretty bad against rogues, and Eliminate is like not as much of a blot as that card against things like white and red aggro, but still pretty reasonable in those matchups, so we should have some first match up here shortly, I imagine. Winning the die roll sounds great. Yeah, we just can't keep this hand right. I guess this is a bunch of green cards and no green mana and no cheap removal. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. We'll bottom Fabled Passage here. But I kept 7, it looks like. Probably just cycling Shark Typhoon onto. Oh. I guess I should technically have played this on black to bluff a Heartless Act here. Their start's relatively slow here. I want to get a second black with this. I have double blue. I have double green. No questing beast is great for us. No plays at all. Wow, their hand must just be like cleaves and great henges then? So I wanted this to be a black source, right? Hey, this is a decent draw. This draw means that I can play this and then activate Faceless Haven, plus play this next turn. So next turn, if they go land attack with this, I'm not blocking, so I'd prefer not to trade this for Scavenging Ooze with Cleave. I think we're definitely excited to just be drawing some cards here. Go ahead and play this, because it's fetching a Snow Basic, which means we can still activate this, plus do this. Oh, the Great Henge. Yeah, I guess I should have killed this. We concluded their hand was probably a bunch of Great Henges. Turn would have been a lot less resource efficient if I'd have killed that. I think we're just hanging tight for now. I basically just need to, like, survive another turn to get to Ugin, right? There's no reason to get aggressive here. Drawing a second spell would have been ideal. We've had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells and 16 cards so far this game. Hopefully Ugin will be enough of a spell to drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. The not Heartless Act and the Lovestruck Beast could easily cost me this because of the amount of extra pressure they have this turn. Need to be more conscious about killing things in response to Great Henge. Probably should have played a match or two to warm up a little bit this morning. Yep. So I think I just Heartless Act a 1/1. So Lovestruck Beast can't attack here. And then we take 8. And then we Ugin and clean the board up. Attack with the Scavenging Ooze would be huge. That's great. Okay, so. Doesn't matter what land we play here. And now, unfortunately, I have to -3 this. Obviously, he's not at 9, so both Dragon and Questing Beast are bad for me here, because they kill my Planeswalker, and I've got no spells left, because we've been very unlucky this game. Worth noting, too, though, that, like, if I had killed their Lovestruck Beast, I'd be in a better spot, and I probably would have drawn another card with my Gargoth, so, like, I definitely made a mistake this game. Even if we fled out from here, I could have done a couple of things different. Graven Lore is probably my best draw from this position.
Do not threaten me.
Okay. No Questing Beast yet. Still very scary. Okay, so we're gonna start solving problems. This gets to kill this. We drew a spell and it was great, chat. Alright, so green, black, doot. Kill your Henge. They could have another, but I think it's correct to do that in case they don't. I have Faceless Haven to block Bone Crusher Giant. They could have a Cleave, they could have another Henge, but, you know, like I said, our plays are pretty scripted at this point. We're pretty obligated to take what we can get. Yeah, gosh, if I had just gotten one more, if I had sequenced this right and gotten one more card with this because they would have been more behind on board, I would have had this a turn sooner and they would have drawn 2 fewer cards, and yeah, my mistake's likely going to cost us this game. I'm going to put a notepad on my desk that says play around Henge, idiot.
Then this is my fate.
Yeah, then having third Lovestruck Beast is real bad for us here. It means they get to attack with this one. So we get to fire this up, and then we need a live draw next turn. Have a lot of good ones, but, you know. Everybody says, and the land's not going to do it. So, I had one decision that was relevant that game, and I made the wrong one, so we died. Alright, sideboard plans. Alright, eliminate Soul Shatter, Wilt, Gargaroth, trim a couple of Graven Lore, trim a couple of Shark Typhoons, trim the Disdainful Strokes. I think I'm happy with that. How many things does Elspeth's Nightmare kill in this matchup? It kills Innkeeper, Scoos, Brushfire, Lovestruck Beast tokens. Yeah, it probably kills enough. Gotta kill the Lovestruck Beast before the artifact comes down, chap. You can really see that game how my decision snowballed, right? Like I didn't kill the Lovestruck Beast, which means the hedge came down with more efficiency, which means the giant got played that turn, which means my Gargaroth couldn't attack, which means I didn't get to draw an extra card, which meant I was one turn behind on the binding to kill the hedge, which let them draw 2 more cards. Like the whole thing just snowballed around that decision, basically. Seems great. It's very easy to focus on that like on a game like that last game. It's very easy to be like, well, I only drew 7 spells and 20 cards or whatever low number of spells we drew, and just like ignore the fact that like I made a bad decision that then snowballed on me. It's just like the actual best possible for us here. Graven Lore. So I kind of want a second black, but this will get me second black later. This will get me second blue later too. Probably doesn't really matter what I play this on. If we get untapped land next turn for this, we're going to be in an incredible spot. If we don't, we could still be okay-ish because we've got these Heartless Acts for interaction. And this is going to get to strip a hedge out of their hand before they get to it, or cleave, which is great. The fact that there's so many high impact cards for Elspeth's second chapter to take. Wow, yeah, you're wilting my enchantment. Deal. Alright, swing and miss. 28 lands later, the Jeff Hoagland story. Definitely need to kill this. I don't think I can wait for the Binding of the Old Gods next turn. I'm electing to hold Soul Shatter, even though it's technically more resource efficient to play it there, because if they go land Dragon, Soul Shatter kills Dragon without giving them a treasure. It also kills Scavenging Ooze. Heartless Act cannot. So I am going to go ahead and do this here, because if I draw an untapped land, I want to play Gargaroth next turn. There's nothing that cares about my graveyard, so feel free to exile it. You know my deck list. Don't waste our time. That pause is probably the opponent double-checking my deck list to see if there was anything that cared about it, and there's not, so... They could have maybe gained a life here, but they're playing multiple Scavenging Oozes, so I assume they want to leave the extra food in there for a future one, potentially. Okay, and now at this point, rather than take 2 from this Bone Crusher Giant, I'm going to go ahead and wait to Binding it, I think. This also fishes me up a land, which is ideal. We'll grab a Snow Duel with that next turn. Hold on, folks, I'm going to do it again. Am I going to do it again? Or are we going to play 5-drop? I'll play a 5-drop here, actually. You have 2 copies of the Cronin War in their deck. Which is nice to have Binding left over for. I get to kill this and I get my Gargaroth back. I can't attack with it because it's summoning sick, but it's fine. Yep. So we're going to be dead to a second Bone Crusher Giant here. So I got to do this, and then I go to 4, and then I go to 2.
Always consider the consequences of freedom.
Okay, am I dead? If we don't die here, the Gargaroth gains us 3 life, and then we're in an incredible spot. We have cards and a Planeswalker and life. They don't have a third Acronid War. We get to block Questing Beast and Goldspan Dragon, so they need exactly Bone Crusher Giant, right? I don't think they have anything in their board that does it. Yep, he killed my Ugin.
No longer wish to
Deal Areno. I'd like to kill you over the course of 2 turns with these 2. To Vigilance and beyond. Need to look at 7 cards here at end of turn. That's pretty annoying. Oh, I guess I technically messed up here, right? I could have, they missequenced, but then I missequenced back. So I could have Graven Lore in response to their fetch land and killed the Lovestruck Beast and denied them this. That's fine though, right? I'm just super dead. So they're gonna get to gain 2 here to stay alive, but the game is over. And they agree. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Elspeth's Nightmare gets a little bit worse on the draw, but I don't really think anything in my sideboard is much better. This end is fine. Not amazing, but fine. It needs to draw, like, 1 more piece of removal and some lands, but it's definitely not a mulligan here. One of mulligans. We'll keep 7. Their deck has a lot of card advantage in it, so, like, mulligans aren't too devastating. Hopefully the mulligan will slow down their initial aggression, which will give us time to get to our Gargoths here. Well, it's not terrible. I can cycle into something more useful, potentially. Rats. Alright, Bloodchief's Thirst. It's not terrible. I'm playing this for blue. Alright, so if we draw an untapped land next turn, we're in an incredible spot. If we brick, we're going to be a little bit behind. Okay. Halfway there. Living on a prayer. Heartless Act. Bloodchief's Thirst. Bloodchief's Thirst is punishing for not getting second black here, potentially. Is there anything I can cycle into here that would make me want to cycle this right now? I don't think so. I think we just hold up and represent removal spells. So they'll go Innkeeper, draw a card here, and then we're looking to hit untapped land and then fade Embercleave. We need to fade Embercleave and a Cronin War next turn. Assuming we hit untapped land. If we break on the untapped land in 2 draws, we're just gonna die. That's how this game works. Well, shit. And again, choices that I made kind of mattering. If I would have played this on black, I would have been able to Bloodchief, Thirst, and Soul Shatter this turn. This is where the magic happens. So, even if I play my land correctly this game, the fact that I didn't have an untapped land here means that we just lose. So, I don't know that there was really anything else we could have done here. The first game was super winnable. If I would have sequenced correctly, if I would have killed the Lovestruck Beast on turn 3 before they played the Henge in the first game, I think I almost assuredly win that game the way things ended up playing out. It would have just put everything on a better tempo, and my Gargaroth would have run away with the game. I'm going to find out. What's it called? It is the blue-red flash deck splashing black. They're playing Volky. They're playing Heartless Act. They're playing Eliminate. They're playing Extinction Event. They give up creature lands to do so, though. This archetype posted a 6-0 finish in one of the SCG tournaments over the weekend. Yeah, this is fine. We got a piece of removal for their first threat. Obviously, we need to draw some lands, but if we hit our 4th land, even if it's like another Faceless Haven, Spirit can grab us something potentially, but pretty likely to draw a land that lets us like cast Binding, for example. I don't expect this to be a game where we get aggroed out. They have Bulky on 2, that's a little annoying. They only have 2 copies of that, though. Perfect. Just like we drew it up, chat fam. And this is heads up deck list, so they know about all of our various fun and 2-ofs. So like they know, for example, that Heartless Act, and they can assume Heartless, but they know, for example, we have like main deck Disdainful Stroke as our only counter spell. Hoping to find second green or second blue. I guess this can get both second green and second blue, huh? Our best possible play for us this turn is a dragon into our stroke. The fun of Crawling Barrens here is the only creature land in the opponent's mana base. This actually doesn't kill anything other than Valky, so we're just going to go ahead and play it. There's also a chance this just bricks, because they have a lot of they have a lot of foretell cards, like their Beholds and their Sod Comings both get thrown into exile over here. One of the interesting mechanics of Behold in a matchup like this is that they can basically save up a more than 7-card hand, right? Which is interesting. Really want to draw land this turn. Untapped land specifically, so it can play Spirit while still holding up Disdainful Stroke. Okay, well, let's just start working through their stuff, huh? Wow, that resolved. That's huge for us. I guess they haven't seen us miss a land drop yet. So like they don't know how important this is, but it's huge. And I guess I already have 2 creature lands, so it's not like it's likely to get me another threat. But the color fixing off of this spirit alone is a big deal. So they double bottoms. They had 5 looks at a dragon here. If they hit dragon here, we could be in a little bit of trouble. Depending on how many of these are counter spells. They've already played 2 Behold, so at least one of these is a Sock coming guaranteed. Just Heartless Act is good for us. We could eat Crow to this one Crawling Barrens. Heartless Act doesn't kill things with counters on it. Yeah, I think that's fine. I have 6 total mana here. Do I Graven Lore while they're tapped out? I don't think so, because I'd have to discard to hand size. We just accept that we're going to take a hit from this. And then we try and Graven... I think I'm going to try and Graven Lore at their end of turn to get a counterspell out of them. We're going to have to work through those, basically. We want to basically make them use their mana, so that way they don't get like a bunch of Crawling Barrens activations for free. So I'd expect this to eat a Saw It Coming. Is a Scry 5, draw 3. I'm interested to see how much they try and protect their threats here versus just letting my stuff happen. Yeah, so it looks like they're going to choose to fight over my threats as opposed to protecting their own, which is probably a good line to be taking here. You see another Behold happen end of turn, or we can activate the Crawling Barrens. Yep. And then, even if they find a dragon here, we'll get to stroke it. The fact that they have Borrower to tempo my Gargaroth the first time it comes down is huge. If it wasn't for this Crawling Barrens, we'd be in an incredible spot, but the Barrens gives us some concern. So this is going to eat a Saw It Coming for sure, but then we're going to get to do stuff next turn, so like... Let's see how good this is. It gets to draw a card off both players' decks. They hit a Graven Lore. And stuff like this is why you should have snow basics in your deck, right? Draw your opponent's Graven Lore. I think we just do this and then smack them with my Faceless Haven here. So they're through 2 Heartless Acts, right? They only have 1 more, so they're actually super light on ways to interact with my Faceless Havens, too. Do I need extra black mana? I have 4 black, I have 3 blue. I think I'd rather just have more snow-covered mana for my Faceless Havens. Leaving lands that cycle in my deck also has some appeal to it. So if I activate 2 Faceless Havens, I can also Heartless Act this. But they can counterspell me back, right? With the Saw coming. Start with Mazemind Tome and see what they do. I have 7 mana left after I cast this. Gonna go ahead and drop the Gargaroth. I need to work through the Brazen Borrower, basically. I expect we'll see them draw 3 here, plus bounce the Gargaroth. And I expect we'll see a Sod coming happen here, but I think we're pretty okay with that. Yeah, that sounds great, right? The Crawling Barrens is a cute payoff for the Goldspan Dragon too. So I have exactly 10 mana here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have to go Gargaroth into Gargaroth next turn. And obviously if they have counter plus Heartless Act, we could be in trouble. They're pretty likely to have at least 1 counter spell here. We had a scry top there. So they have 3 Brazen Borrowers and 1 Heartless Act left in their deck. Technically have an Extinction event too, but that would exile their dragon as well, so like that's not a big deal. Stop on my upkeep in case we want to scry with the Mazemind Tome there. I want to just make sure we activate this every turn, because gaining 4 life in the short term could be pretty important. So they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana currently. The Ghostband Dragon is going to give them another 2, so that's 13. They've played 3 Saw It Comings and 3 Behold the Multiverses, so coin flip on which Foretold card this could be. I think we're just drawing. It's a pretty good one. As much snow mana as possible available here. So we can remove 3 counters from this. They have no blue mana available. And then I think we just go ahead. They don't have any haste creatures on the ground, so I'm fine to tap my colorless here to draw a card, see what we get. 6, 7. We're at 13. The Crawling Barrens is dead. I think we just cast our Shark Typhoon too here. Let's have some dueling sharks. Stop on my upkeep just in case here. Soul Shatter lets us kill the dragon down the line potentially. Okay. So this has got to be a counterspell then, right? Otherwise, they would have totally played this proactively if this wasn't. So this has a CMC of 1, even if I kick it. And their Saw It Coming will give them a 3/3. Okay, yeah. Okay, and now because my Faceless Haven has Vigilance, I can activate this and still Soul Shatter this turn. I think that's the play. Because it lets me draw a card. Feels pretty ambitious of them not to triple block here. They obviously get to sack the Goldspan Dragon. That's not... Did I order these right? I did. Okay. And then we're ahead by a very little bit here, right? It's the smallest amount, but we are ahead. We're also up 3 minutes on clock, which feels like it could be relevant here. This is a great last card to have in the tank also. And we've got 2 creature lands on the board. And remember, Brazen Borrower can't block our creature lands, so it only blocks things with flying. We stuck around for the next match. This has been a fun set. Fun first game. That's cute. Okay. Alright, so I had a sideboard plan for blue-red flash. Does it apply here? Not exactly, because I want my copies of Eliminate in case they have their, what's it called? Chain Web, Extra Gargoth, I want to leave my couple of strokes in. I was cutting these. I was cutting these. So if I want to fit the 2 eliminates in, what am I trimming? Is this an Ugin matchup? Maybe it's not an Ugin matchup. My opponent's got 2 strokes and some disputes in their sideboard. That's got a full boat of duresses. I don't know how many of those they're necessarily going to bring in. I'm going to trim the Ugin. Do this. We've got this as win con. Seems like plenty. Sure. Yeah, turn 2 Mazemind sounds great. Obviously need a black or green source to be able to cast Binding, but run the draw and hopefully have time here. Hopefully this doesn't get duressed out of our hand, he says before getting duressed. Yep, opponent knows what's up. Hoping to mana screw us. Alright, 28 lands. I'm counting on you. Don't do it. Don't do it to me, deck. Have a heart. Not the color we need, but it's better than bricking. We have double blue lined up for Graven Lore already, so that's nice. Expecting this to get counterspelled? They don't have Negate, so they need one of those to be a Saw coming. I feel like I'm obligated to cast this here, though. Because, like, there's a good chance at least one of these is a glimpse, and if I just, like, pass my turn and don't do anything and they get to glimpse for free there, it's, like, not great for me. Never didn't have it. All right, so this is fetching second green then. Yeah, and the other one was a Behold here, right? So we put them off of being able to do their thing for a turn with our sequence. So they could have Dragon plus Dispute here, but then I get to kill it with Heartless Act. And again, like, my hand has so many good cards in it, I'm definitely just, like, heading to the Space Jam here. Like, on the off chance this resolves. Which, not expecting it to, but definitely here for it. Yeah, I'm so tight on mana that, like, Dispute is going to get me at some point regardless, so you might as well just head it on in there. It might not look like much, chat, but this chain web, it's going the distance. It's going full speed. It's all alone in this time of need. Pretty sure we want to kill this now. Because even if they have, like, threat counterspell here, like, they play big threat, we stroke it, they counter our stroke, we untap, and then binding their threat, and it's, like, not terrible. They could, like, have dragon plus counter for our counter plus second counter off the dragon's treasure, but that's fine for us. Second stroke's a great pickup. Alright, 20 turn clock, I choose you. We're playing this for the Rogues matchup, but it, like, lines up fine into Goldspan Dragon, so it comes in the Goldspan Dragon matchups. I assume they have a stomp, they're just gonna, like, step on this. Bone Crusher Giant's actually one of their better cards they could have at this point, because not only does it kill the Chain Web, but it also gets under my strokes. This isn't really a big deal, because this and Chain Web get to sit there and stare awkwardly at each other. We got the old reach on here. I'm really surprised they have Eliminate in their deck post board. I guess we did kill them with creature lands, technically. If they go counterspell this, dragon, counterspell my counterspell, we're in a medium spot. This must be a counter, because I would have drawn two otherwise. So they need another counterspell here. Because if they don't have another counterspell here, the Chain Web just slaughters them. So with the Heartless Act drawn, I think we Soul Shatter rather than playing the web. Because if I play the web and they have Essence Scatter, we just get got. I think we just take this hit so we can have the stroke up still, because I don't want to get, like, Tibalted. And then we'll do this at end of turn. Okay, we're hoping to draw an untapped land here. We just gotta do this. Pretty soft to another counterspell, unfortunately. We don't have any mana. Alright, that happened. It's dead, but that's still gone. So we need to fade like Tibalt here and Goldspan Dragon. I think we're getting a Snow Duel here. I have 2 creature lands already. I only have 2 green. Probably want a 3rd green, huh? We have 2 blue, 2 black, 2 green. So which ones do I want 3rd colors of? I think I want a 2nd green, a 3rd green, and a 3rd blue, because the 3rd blue means that if I... The 3rd blue means that if I draw the Graven Lore, I can Graven Lore plus Disdainful Stroke in the same turn. Come and get me. I don't think they play Negate. Right? Yeah, they're on Duress instead of Negate. Okay, and then, you know, coffee's for closers, and Gargoth's all about getting itself a cup of joe. I think that's just fine. I think I'd much rather stroke something more important. It just doesn't matter, right? Like, I'm gonna escape this chain web and kill it. This card seems really well positioned in the format. I actually hadn't played games with this card before today. I was like looking for cards that could hedge rogues for me. I'm gonna gain 3 life the first time with this, just to, like, put myself out of range a little bit here. To make sure we don't, like, die by mistake. Okay, sweet. Sweet. Standard format seems very reasonable at the moment. Alright, let's do it. Some Mired Tritons, some Croxas, a couple of Goldspan Dragons, a couple of Rankles. We're on the play. They've got 4 Claim the Firstborn. They've got 4 Cronin War. They have no Heartless Acts. They have a couple of Bloodchief Thirsts. So our larger threats are probably pretty good here on average. This hand's fine. We're going to cycle the Shark Typhoon and hope... We're going to cycle the Shark Typhoon and hope that we hit our green stars. If we hit the green source on curve by 4, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Okay, it's not terrible. I think we're binning the Shark Typhoon here. The rest of our cards seem pretty good. I guess I could bin the Soul Shatter. The Binding of the Gods is going to set me up with the next land, right? I was say we could keep Shark Typhoon to justify searching for a land, but because we hit the land to play the Binding's going to unlock the Gargoth for us, which is nice. Hopefully they play something that we can kill here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we killed this with Binding, even though it's not very good, just because we want to hit our land drop. Huh? Now we found that? I guess I need to kill this regardless because I want to be able to attack with Gargoth. So this is going to get us, I think I have double black. We're gonna get a green with the Fabled Passage. This has to get a green. I think I want to get the extra blue, so that way I have double blue with all snow mana. So that way if we draw the Graven Lore, we can scry 5 with it. And they missed their third land on 3, so if they have a Cronin War, which they've already milled one of them, they're playing 3 in the main, they also need a land here. Liliana's pretty good.
The best thing about zombies is their adorable. You can scream if it hurts too much.
There's one copy of Liliana Waker of the Dead in their deck. Such unfortunate. I think we just Mazemind and then shatter the soul here. I'm gonna stop on my upkeep. Expect we'll see Kroxa escape here. We were in a good spot, and they hit their lands. They had the removal spell for the Gargaroth, so we know that their hand is currently all spells, which is a little on the scary side. I'm gonna draw a card with this here, see what we get. Yep, much rather keep Heartless Act than Faceless Haven, even if it means we lose life here. I think we're in the market to take a draw step. Oh, wow. Right, they have 4 copies of Flame. I think we're dead. Yeah, I don't have enough mana to Ugin this turn. Huh? And they have 6 cards in the bin still? Okay, and then I guess we do this and then just pass here. We're still a couple turns off of doing anything with this. Start here. We're gonna take 4 down to 1, and then they escape the Croc, so we ditch the Bloodchiefs. Bone Crusher Giant will do it. Yep. I don't know there's really much we could do there. Like, I can look back and think about things that we had, but I think it was all pretty scripted. They missed their land on 3, but then they curved out pretty elegantly after that, and the fact that Gargaroth died and didn't get a chance to do anything was a real big deal. The Claim the Firstborn especially, taking the extra card out of my hand and hitting us for an extra 6 the turn the Crocs that came down, also hurt a lot. Alright, so bringing in the Clings and eliminate a Soul Shatter, an Ugin, cutting the Elder Gargaroths and the Disdainful Strokes. Yeah, seems like a pretty good plan. Eliminate kills Kroxa, but it also misses things like Goldspan and Wrinkle. And Bloodchief's Thirst kills Kroxa for 1 less mana. Also, you know, we've got a little bit more Graveyard Hate post-board too, which is nice. Maybe their Kroxas won't be escaping as often. I want to cut the Elder Gargaroth, because I expect them to keep their Cronin Wars in the deck post-board. Like, that last game is a good example of why Elder Gargaroth's not good here, right? There's even a chance that, like, my opponent boards in things like Heartless Act and their extra Cronin War to have extra ways to deal with Gargaroth. So I think I'd much rather just win the game eventually with, like, Ugin and Faceless Haven, rather than trying to stick a 6/6 and hope it does something. Like, the last game we had to play it because it was our only play, and hope they didn't have it, but post-board we get to make different decisions. Not amazing, but fine. 3 copies of Crocs in the deck and have it on 2 every game. Pretty good. Always surprises me that, like, when people don't play more copies of a card like this. Because, like, this card is a good example of an effect where, like, the redundant copies tend to be pretty reasonable. Because your extra copies still take a card out of my hand, and then you can just, like, escape them away out of the graveyard, right? I feel like playing red-black without 4 of this card seems a little wild. I guess it's bad in the... That's not even bad in the aggro matchups, right? Because, like, putting a 6/6 into play quickly is a way to race them efficiently. Alright, there's our land drop, so we get to have Binding on curve, which is great. I do suppose this fights with Woe Strider in terms of graveyard value, but, like, it could also just be the decks that I'm playing too that my bias is showing, but, like, I'd much rather my opponents be escaping Woe Striders than Crocs does. So Binding's gonna guaranteed get us a 2nd green next turn, so I think we just get a blue or a swamp or an island here. Bind it up. Wrinkles, a reason to maybe leave the shark back. It might be ambitious trying to live to... Keeping the Ugin on these discards might be ambitious. It might be assuming a lot that we're gonna be able to keep Ugin in our hand until we get to a point where we can cast him. There are 4 cards in their bin already. They're two off of Kroxa, 1 off of Kroxa. They can escape Woe Strider here, and like I said, I would love it if they escape Woe Strider and just, like, be the best possible for us. But yeah, that looks like what they're doing. Sweet. I have double black, I have plenty of blue. Yeah, I don't have to worry about our colors at all here. I think I'm actually passing the turn here. If they play a card that makes me discard a card, I want to discard the land and hope to spike a land to play the Ugin. And if they don't make me discard a card, I can play the pathway. Does my opponent have any cards that kill planeswalkers? They have 2 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst. They have any others post board? Nope. Exactly 2 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst. So I think with Bloodchief's Thirst in mind, like, this card's not safe in our hand. This card's actually less safe in our hand than it is in play here. So we're definitely playing it out. If we get Bloodchief's Thirst, we're gonna be really sad. We're gonna have to hope to draw Graven Lore, but this is definitely the line.
Your fate is sealed.
Dragon's not too hot for us. Soul Shatter's nice.
My flames burn beyond perception.
Surely you can handle a little pain.
I mean, okay. Like I mentioned, this card's not really safe in our hands, so we'll trade this for your Planeswalker. Well, Ugin will plus. And they drew 2 lands here, which is pretty unfortunate for them.
Not
It's pretty peak Magic the Gathering, right? They drew a land off our deck, and then we drew an Ugin. Like, you know. Low variance game and all that jazz. Okay, they need a flying creature or a Bloodchief this turn. And even then, they still have to deal with both of these. They could have been a Cronin War. Yeah, Cronin War's a card that's not unreasonable. And again, chat, put snowlands in your deck. Like, I guess they're sacrificing this to draw cards, but like, if they didn't have the village rights there, the bear could have been much larger. Like, they've got 6 basics in here. Okay, they found an Ox, which is going to let them draw some cards here, but, oh, they actually don't have enough yet. And they haven't done anything to this. We're going to get to Alt Ugin. Sounds nice. Oh, you know, I should have actually killed the Calls to Dead there, right? I can do it anyways. Well, I can just cling the Ox too. Let's just do that. The rest of these don't matter. I'd rather Graven Lore this turn. Oh, I messed up how I let my things tap there. And I could have... I'm going to miss a scry on this because of the way the auto-tapper tapped for me. It tapped the snow-covered island for this. So they're dead to Ugin Plus. They're dead to the Faceless Haven. Alright, on to game the 3rd. How that game played out, do I want to board differently? They have gold spans and they have wrinkles. Is it crazy to board in Chainweb? It's probably bad, right? I'm already using Cling to escape things from my bin. Yeah, it's gotta be bad. Just gonna go ahead and run it back. I guess you don't like win games like anything that has lands and spells. You basically keep in matchups like these because you don't win these games by mulliganing against the deck that's going to shred your hand. So you just like keep lands and spells and hope that they work out. Elspeth's Nightmare is a pretty good one to have an arbiter here. Well, not if they don't play any 2-power things. Three shades in their board. We might see them take Graven Lore here. Graven Lore or Nightmare seems most likely. I can kill the Shade. Maybe I should wait until they play a couple more lands to do that. This is nice. Rewarded for having used my mana there. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for here. I guess that actually qualifies, huh? Like, I kind of just want to draw cards at this point. I also want to get these close to gaining life, so I probably want to activate them every turn.
Address me as Queen of the Dead, please.
So they have to discard a card here too.
I really don't
I feel like this effect is like okay for me. I gotta worry about her before she gets to 7, but that's not happening for a little bit. I'm gonna be greedy and bottom this. Like an untapped land to play Graven Lore with this turn. And punished. Maybe I'm supposed to keep that third one, because the third one means I could play it and tap it. Gonna die. This is a removal spell sitting in play here too.
Sorry for your loss. Think too much.
Some interesting sequencing here from them. They're... Okay, just take this hit. If they would have rankled me first, they could have done 3 with her. I think we're dead, right?
So tough.
Yeah, it looks like we're dead. So I could do this, but then the rankle draw deals an extra 1 to us, right? Better. All right, good stuff. At any rate, X2 definitely puts us out of contention for things. So thanks everybody for dropping by today. I appreciate the resubs and